Kyle Kaler, former Cage Wars champion, now professional fighter, pulled that out. So this is Bruce's chance to come back here, get his redemption after 2 years off. His opponent, P.T. Ortiz, well-known mixed martial artist in the area, coming to us out of Eddie 5e Jiu-Jitsu. He hasn't competed in 10 years.
Okay.
Great amateur record, 5-1. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does after this many years. You know, can he come right in, shake off that ring rust?
Yeah.
And hopefully get to find out what prompted this return.
Ortiz is from your era.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm old.
That's not what I said.
I'm going to be getting AARP soon.
Does he inspire you to?
Well, no.
Is it a 10-year layoff?
I had a really bad motorcycle accident. I've had like 3 procedures. I need a shoulder surgery. Mixed martial arts, and I'm 44. You know, this is the most grueling sport on earth when it comes to training camps. You got to train everything. If I was going to do something again, I think I might take a kickboxing match. You know, Cage Wars is branching out a little bit.
Yep.
Because, you know, I can get that training in without beating the neck and shoulder up too bad.
Yep.
And this is interesting because Nash, you're a fighter. You're in your athletic prime. Do you enjoy the physical toll that it takes? Enjoy is kind of a strange way of asking, but is it begin to start to affect you adversely over time, or do you get used to it, or do you enjoy it?
I don't know. I think it actually depends on the environment that you're in. I'm currently in a phase of things where it's reminding me that I'm alive in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? I find that like when I go like a week without training or whatever, I may not actively realize anything, right? But when I go back and I do my first class, there's that soreness. And that soreness is like a great reminder as you go through the day. Like I kind of did something. You know what I mean? It kind of keeps you.
Pain reminds you you're alive.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you take it from training to competition just sort of by accident, or did you begin training in hopes to be in competition?
I've been training with the intention of being a teacher. I actually plan to own my own school. Really close friends with Harley Locklear. And when he went for his first title shot against Kyle Collar, Brian just threw me on the card. He was like, hey, you're friends with him. He's fighting.
I remember that. That was when I met you.
Yep.
I introduced myself when you were in the fighter meeting.
So he said, you're up?
He was just like, you're on deck. And I was like, well, can't just be a little scruff about it and pull out. Let's do it.
Yeah. That's an interesting way, though. So the coach is seeing something in you that he almost feels like you.
Oh, Brian totally thinks I'm a freeloader. Totally thinks I'm a freeloader. He's like, do more. Do more.
Well, I've appreciated having you here.
P.T. Ortiz coming in with the jiu-jitsu background from Eddie Fiver, but you notice the Cleto Reyes boxing hoodie, you know, and he's already throwing those hands.
He's ready to get busy.
And, you know, I know he does some boxing work up there, so up in Saratoga, I believe with Danny Batchelder. So this is going to be interesting to see what he presents.
And this is our specimen off of a 10-year hiatus.
10 years.
Yeah.
Golly, that's tough.
God bless him. I love it.
Man, what do you think his expectations would be, Will, coming back after a long
layoff? Well, this is a guy who stayed active. He's always been training. You know, and he's 5-1. He was very successful.
Yeah.
He's surrounded by good people. I mean, I think this for him is going to be just picking up where he left off.
I think a fitting evaluation, if nothing else.
Because I don't think he's been on the couch. You know, it's not he's coming off the couch to do this.
He looks calm, focused, ready right now, right? I mean, this is home for him in a sense. It has been a long time since he's been here, but it is home.
It was so long ago he fought in the promotion he fought in doesn't even exist anymore.
Wow.
You know, but that also lends to the durability and longevity of Cage Wars.
100%.
Well, it's easy to root for a guy like this.
It's easy to root for both these guys.
Absolutely.
Bruce Miano's a nice guy, very professional, great mixed martial artist. P.T. Ortiz bringing the crowd tonight, as you can see.
Got some presence to him for sure.
We're bringing it up to Mike Falvo for the official introduction.
464 with our first championship bout of the evening. 3 3-minute rounds for the Cage Wars Lightweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in yesterday 156 pounds. Representing open mat mixed martial arts and action reaction out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Bruce the Mongoose Miano. And his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in last night at 156 pounds, representing Eddie 5e Jiu-Jitsu Academy out of Malta, New York, P.T. Ortiz.
Definitely the hometown favorite, PT Ortiz is. Again, people did not forget about this guy.
Yeah.
Who's in the locker room? Any questions? Watch for no knees to the head, no elbows. Okay? Listen to my command. Any question? Touch gloves, come on, fighting.
Yeah, I could feel the tension growing. Miano and Ortiz
100%.
right now for the lightweight title here at Cage Wars 64. I'm excited. PT Ortiz, as Will was telling us before, while the fighters were coming into the cage, coming off a 10-year layoff.
Very successful amateur career, excellent training background.
Yeah, to quote you earlier, I'm definitely sensing violence on this one.
Yeah, we've had quite a bit of it tonight.
Nice lead round to the leg, followed by the lead side.
And still using that double jab. The thing I would say is with Miano, his ground game is slick. So, you know, put some hands behind as he changes that level. PT locking him down, close guard, bringing his knees up. Miano controlling that left arm of PT. If you're PT, what do you do right now, Nash?
It's interesting when punches are available, but he's doing a good job right now. He's fishing that hook in to see if he can make something happen, maybe a sweep, a transition of the weight.
Miano doing a good job staying on his toes while on his knees so he can keep that forward pressure.
Yeah, he's see him there working the side of Ortiz's body.
Ortiz opens up that guard.
Yeah, Ortiz may want to consider an overhook for that arm that's delivering all the body shots. Do we know what level Ortiz is at jiu-jitsu-wise?
I'm not sure. I know he's a high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner with Eddie Fivey for many years.
Miano appeared to have just sort of drug him up along the cage there.
Yep.
Well, and that kind of stifles your opponent's ability to create the distance in those angles.
Intelligent.
Yeah. If you get the spine pinned against the wall, it makes it really hard to activate those hips.
And again, this is control time. We're coming up on 1 minute left.
100%.
If your PT Ortiz get a foot to the hip, create some
Yeah,
separation.
absolutely, absolutely.
As Miano continues to do some work to the left side of Ortiz's body, now working the other side. Landing. Less than a minute to go.
Yeah, Miano's done a really good job of keeping Ortiz pinned against his wall here for this groundwork.
And if you're Ortiz, you're shaking off a little bit of ring rust in the cage. It's been about 10 years, so get through a first round, get a little composure.
PT doing the right thing, getting the knees, trying to use the cage to help him get up.
Yeah, PT's got to get up here. It'd be encouraging for him to close out the round standing if he can.
I agree.
That's good.
Still looks calm.
Good job by PT. He's got to get that left arm underneath the chin.
Seems like he's no stranger to a tough fight.
10 seconds.
Oh, nice knee.
So again, not a ton of damage done by Miano, but definite control.
I agree with that. Lots of time on top for sure.
Ortiz, though, barely huffing and puffing, looks no worse for the wear. Again, calm and composed.
Yeah, it looked like Ortiz wanted to absorb that takedown and try to redirect it, but he just didn't get it off.
You know, Miano very aware of his space, very long guy, able to sense where he's in the transition. If I'm Ortiz, I'm going to make this a dirty boxing match and then mix those kicks in.
Yeah.
Ortiz not even taking a seat. I love that. That's old school.
Yeah.
That's Forrest Griffin type stuff.
I think we've seen a good job of a lot of the fighters tonight actually using their legs, the leg kick. But to speak to your point, a lot of those kicks being led without any handwork.
Very naked.
Yep.
A lot of things are good naked. Kicks are not one.
Heard that.
Ortiz, no doubt, will look to be probably a little more aggressive with his hands. Avoid the takedown early if you can.
You got to put that jab in his face, double it up, be ready to throw that rear underhook for him to change that level.
Good feeling out round.
Yeah, also interesting because Ortiz looks like the bigger man.
But Miano's the longer man.
Yeah, with good pressure. Longer man with good pressure.
Excellent lateral movement as well.
Ooh,
Ooh, nice
good
check left hook.
Yep.
Nice leg kick.
PT going to want to not stay straight down the pipe like that.
He should circle out to Miano's left side, away from the power.
Absolutely.
Some pretty good striking from Miano.
They're starting to open up.
Miano doing a good job not over pursuing right now.
Overhand right connects. Right to the double.
Easy.
Now, again, if that was me, I mean, he's already ahead on the scorecards. Stand and bang a little bit more, you've got the edge. 1 minute down, 2 to go. Miano's in no real threat here.
No.
You'll see him pop that head out. He's got an arm in, and you see his ear in the back of his head. He'll pop it out soon enough.
You think is Ortiz just expending wasted energy at
Yeah,
this point?
I think Ortiz wants to transition over trying to finish his headlock.
Yeah, that's like an isometric contraction. So your muscles are tight trying to hold it there, just draining the ATP, the oxygen, and the energy.
Yeah, overcommitting to hold under stress is a very common thing.
Does it provide any advantage? Does it zap any energy out of your opponent though, or is it you're not only wasting your own energy?
It depends. It's always a war of attrition.
But Miano did a good job keeping the forward pressure, so he
Right.
wasn't able to
Right.
create the right torque.
Ortiz trying. He needs to do something, and he knows it.
Yeah.
Minute and 15 left to go in our second round.
Miano doing a good job using his head for pressure and control.
Yeah, same tactic round one. Got his back against the cage ever so nicely. Hard for Ortiz to really get a substantial ground game going.
Coming up on 1 minute.
The crowd just wants Ortiz to get up. They want to give him something to cheer for right now.
You know, but Nash, you touched on it earlier. He's got him against the cage, and that's that much harder to get out, especially against a really well-versed guy like Bruce Miano.
Yeah, and Miano's obviously sticking to his plan. Not getting ahead of himself, not being careless or reckless.
He's going to try to drag those legs away from the cage. 30 seconds left.
If you're Ortiz here, probably conserve as much energy as you can in the last 20 or 30 seconds so that you could come out, you know, gangbusters in the third, which is what he's going to need to do.
I mean, really dominating the second round.
Yeah.
All right. Referee stands him up. I love it.
Yep.
Okay. That's interesting.
Well, you've got
Did
to
you both think
continually
Miano was
advance
not
your
doing
punch.
enough?
I would call that stalling. I would call that
Yes,
stalling.
agreed.
Okay.
Did all that pressure slow Miano down? Less than 10.
Yep.
Maybe it did.
Ortiz still pursuing.
Wow. Okay.
You know, I give Ortiz a lot of credit for still pressing, still
Yeah,
aggressing.
I agree.
I think there's something to build on going into round number 3
Yeah,
there.
a little silence falling over the crowd too, right? Tension in the air for sure.
There is. And
People
Miano,
vested in the result.
Miano took a couple of deep breaths. You know, he's breathing through his mouth. Ortiz still standing.
Yeah, after a 10-year layoff,
That's
looks
pretty
like he's
good.
holding up pretty darn good if you ask me.
Yeah.
He looks better than I would by this round. I'd probably puke in a bucket.
He looks very composed and calm.
Absolutely. Because, again, it wasn't kind of a feeling out fight so far. I mean, it was a pressure fight. So he's resisting. He's trying to create things. That's draining.
Well, and I think the fact that the ref had to stand him up is testament to the fact that Miano was getting a little slow. So we are seeing him slow down a little bit.
Well, but also
Possibly.
Ortiz wasn't trying to
Yes.
get submissions or escape. He was holding on to Miano.
I would say Ortiz had dominant control from the bottom, but was not doing much with it, right?
Yeah, so that
initiated,
combination of it caused the stall.
Let's see what happens here. Third and final round for the lightweight title here at Cage Wars 64. Appreciate you watching at stimulus.com.
PT Ortiz knows he has to force this fight.
I feel like Ortiz.
And again, this is not where Ortiz wants to be.
No.
Miano is just going to continue to control and grind him out in this position.
So comfortability in the ring is definitely a thing, but I think a lack of urgency may be what Ortiz is facing on his return here.
Well, and that's exactly it. Miano's not really threatening the submissions. He's not going hard ground and pound to the face. So there isn't that sense of urgency, but again, the judges should be the sense of urgency.
Right, 100%, 100%. Seeing that same tactic, Miano has him get pinned against the wall again, the cage rather.
Ortiz got to try to get to a hip, try to create some distance, get a knee shield in there, something, get a foot to a hip. Miano just relentless with the forward pressure.
Yeah,
Slowly starting to open him up a little bit too, kind of soften up Ortiz a little bit.
Yep.
Well, when you see that body lock on Miano, all that really does is just try to pull your opponent down and stall. There's not much you can do out of that position.
Yeah, MMA, the bottom is not where you want to live. He wants to be putting activity towards getting back to his feet, trying to get on top.
Trying to use the feet to lift, create the distance. Is Miano going to let him up?
Halfway
through the
third
fight.
round.
Can Miano finish this?
The body triangle again. Seen
We
it
don't
many
have good
times
angle. There
tonight.
we go. Good job fighting the arm.
This could be the beginning, right, of the end.
But again, Ortiz is doing a nice job being aware of where the threat is with the choke.
Yeah.
The only problem is body triangle. He's got to roll to that left side, get the foot to the floor. Easier said than done when he's got Ortiz's left arm trapped, though.
Yeah, Miano doing a good job transitioning between grip controls and working the body.
Minute to go.
You know, and you hear the corner telling him to turn in, but that's so much easier said than done.
Absolutely.
Less than a minute.
Right, where are you getting the leverage from?
Exactly. You got an arm pulling the other way. You know, it's not as easy as it might look.
And that's why you'll see guys roll the wrong way and give themselves up because they just have to do something to get out of that position.
30 seconds left, guys. Here we go. Nothing but control and domination for Bruce Miano right now.
It's got to be frustrating, too, for Ortiz. 10-year layoff, but didn't ever have an opportunity, really, to engage all that much and land a bunch of strikes, but hopefully we'll see him again. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Final 10, here we go. Again, you know what? PT Ortiz still fighting in the end, still defending.
And
excellent job by Bruce Miano.
Yeah.
We'll take it up to the judges' scorecard momentarily, but that looked like a 3-0, 3 rounds to nothing for Miano.
I think so.
For the lightweight title here at Cage Wars 64. Thanks for watching at home.
Tough night for the hometown heroes.
Yeah, a couple of them. The last few, you're right, has not turned out particularly well. And the fans just seemed frustrated, like they wanted something, they wanted something.
Yeah,
but again, Miano controlled. He didn't let Ortiz find his stride.
He did his job, too. He found the aspect of his game that worked, and he stuck to it. Every round we saw him get him to the ground, get him against the cage wall.
Very, very consistent, absolutely. As the judges do their final tabulations, probably not too much to figure out here. But we'll turn it up to Mike Falvo momentarily. Even the body type of Miano looks kind of wiry but strong, right?
Yeah.
Big shoulders. Ortiz just looks, he has the build of a striker.
Yep.
Hopefully next time we see him in the cage, he'll have an opportunity to do that. And now we set it up to Mike Falvo for the official victor.
Absolutely.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for one great fight. And now, after 3 hard-fought rounds of mixed martial arts, we go to the official scorecard. All 3 judges have scored the fight 30-27 in favor of your winner by way of unanimous decision and the new Cage Wars lightweight champion. Out of the blue corner, Bruce Miano.